today. This is going to be a 30-minute webinar, and it's going to focus on talking to you about the value and benefits of using our FM mobile solution. Near the end of this presentation, I'm going to run through a series of product demonstrations. So this will really be a mix of talking about the features, benefits, capabilities, as well as actually showing the product. So one thing I wanted to do is a little bit about myself. So I've been in facilities for quite a long time, obviously working now as a director of marketing at FM Systems. However, very, very early in my career, I was actually a technician for 5 years, working in the field in a very complex facility, doing preventive and corrective maintenance. After that, I joined the facilities management team in the space management office at the University of Arizona. I was there for 6 years, really managing a 700-floor database drawings as well as the physical space inventory for the university. And I can tell you, if we would have had something like this, it would have just led to immense productivity gains for our team. I can remember my boss, I would print out drawings, he would take spreadsheets, he would go to more than 130 campus buildings every single year, walk those floors, validate the space, check the utilization. He would mark that all down on a clipboard with a printed out drawing and a spreadsheet, and then bring that back to me. And if he would have had a device like this in hand, it would have absolutely been revolutionary. So that's just a little bit about myself, and I think you'll see that I'm pretty excited about this topic. I think the product is fantastic. It's got tremendous capabilities, and hopefully I'll be able to get that across to you today. A little bit as well, this is a high-level overview of the product with some demonstration. Over the coming months, we're going to be doing monthly webcasts. They will be live webcasts showing a bit of a deeper dive in specific functional areas. We'll cover things like mobile workforce management, being able to manage work orders, being able to do things like track assets. And I'll touch upon those today, but I won't be getting too deep into any of them because I really want to give you an overview for this entire capability. So let's just go to my next slide, the agenda and overview. So I'm going to start with an overview. I'll cover probably a half dozen slides. I'll then go into what I call the capabilities, and capabilities are sort of core functionality of the product, like being able to view a floor plan. I want to make sure you understand that. I'll then go into some product demonstrations, a series of those short ones targeted at specific function areas, and then I'll end with a conclusion. Just so you know, just one little bit of housekeeping here. It is a 30-minute webinar. We won't have time to take live questions at the end, so please feel free to use the question pane that's included as part of our webinar. What we've been doing and what Leisha's been doing, many of you have been reaching out to her, which has been fantastic. We've been asking questions, and we are building those into an FAQ, which we'll then provide to anyone who needs to see that. Plus, we also have some really top-notch technicians, Bill Meyer and Luby, on the line who will be answering those questions in the pane for you. So everyone's in great hands. Feel free to fire off those questions, and we'll get answers back to you. So let me just go ahead and start the actual formal part of the presentation. So more and more of you, your work as a facility professional is taking you away from your desk. We're all dealing in sort of an ever-changing, highly dynamic environment in our facilities, especially as things like alternative workplace strategies are taking place. Organizations are growing, contracting, moving. People seem to be a lot more mobile than they used to be, and all that has to do with mobile devices, which have now matured. We have higher capabilities with mobile devices, larger, clearer screens, faster wireless connections, and we really entered the age of mobile. So keeping the rhythm of your job flowing smoothly without unnecessary interruptions can help your team maintain better control of their task load types of environments. So FM Mobile, as you can read here, enables facility team members to access, update, and report on your facilities data in the field from your Apple, iPhone, and iPad. The type of information that you can access includes data, drawings, and reports, and then roles are used to determine what type of and how information is available to the users who are logged in. For example, a facility manager may have access to all of the facilities related data, including occupancy and asset information, whereas a maintenance technician might only be able to access assigned work. So moving on to the actual benefits portion, really I think this product is tremendous. It is specifically built for mobile workers. We're not just taking our our flagship product, FM Interact, and making it viewable through a mobile device like an iPhone and iPad. But we've really created this to provide facilities professionals with a set of tools specifically developed to solve problems for facility workers whose jobs are mobile, by being able to access this rich facilities information and drawings. You can do things that are really specific to mobile tasks out in the field, and it's been designed from the ground up to operate that way. We also truly believe that this is going to lead to increased productivity for your team members, where they can benefit from reduced cycle time for specific tasks by taking advantage of mobile access directly at the point of the problem. So if you can imagine being out there in the field, you're logging an issue with a piece of equipment. Perhaps in the past you would have had to have jotted that down on a piece of paper, or maybe get back to and you can't quite remember exactly what the problem was. So really being able to enter that directly at the point of the problem eliminates the need to constantly go back to your desk to get information, which can now be at your fingertips. Also, when you think about people who are mobile technicians or people who are working on projects in the field, if you've got procedures or if you've got drawings, et cetera, out in the field with you, it can really mitigate the need to go back to your desk to get additional information when you can look it up right there. Reduced cycle time means you can complete tasks quicker than ever before, such as logging facility conditions during walkthroughs, as well as maintenance tasks, including receiving, getting, and closing out corrective maintenance requests. Additional things that you can think about are being able to access extended warranty information, or even bringing up fully color-coded facility drawings, such as departmental space plans. Then we've got greater speed and accuracy by having access to this data in the field. Obviously, you're going to really achieve that greater productivity, and you can complete data entry and updates with better speed and accuracy. So we really feel that, once again, going back to that, really entering that information at the point of the problem is going to increase the quality of the data that you're working with. And this, obviously, because we are mobile, can be done anytime and anywhere. So being in the field, being away from your desk, being up on a roof, looking at a problem, being in a conference room, looking at utilization, perhaps there's a problem in that conference room and you want to take a quick photo with your iPad or iPhone and attach that to a worker, you can do all of that. It's incredibly powerful. A little bit about this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the technical background here. This may answer some of the questions that we've been receiving. I won't go too deep into this. Feel free to ask Bill or John the technical questions. But FM Mobile is an entirely new interface designed specifically for use with mobile devices. Currently, it is supported on an iPad or iPhone using iOS 6.1.3. I have a brand new iPad with the Retina display, and this thing is just, it's beautiful on that device. It's fast, the drawings load great. I'm authorized by our product management team to say that Android support will be coming later. It is in our product plans. This product, the actual development environment was written in .NET, and the drawing viewer is in HTML5. This is not an app. Which I think is great news for those of you who may be dealing with T issues. Loading an app on a bunch of mobile devices, especially disparate mobile devices, can really be a headache and time-consuming. Apps obviously have their place, but this product was written to be accessible in an open web environment and through a web browser on your mobile device. It does utilize the exact same database as FM Interact. So many of you on this call are actually customers using FM Interact, our flagship product, our IWMS product. Many of you are not. So I'm going to give a little bit of an FM Interact overview here in just a couple of minutes, just so you understand the way that works. But rest assured, your drawings, your information, your reports, all of that information you're currently housed in FM Interact. You're not going to have to do duplicate data entry to make that information available on the mobile. I've got a short demo at the end. I'm going to show how you can actually take a screen and make it mobile. It's really, really cool and very fast. The floor plans are displayed in a brand new HTML5 viewer that we've developed. It's very lightweight. It does a great job with a very high level of fidelity and quality of viewing your drawings. It does require a separate license. So if you're an FM Interact user, this would be similar to licensing another module in Interact. So a little bit of an overview of FM Interact itself. So let's see, I'm going to just make sure I'm on task with my notes here. All right, so FM Mobile is a module that is part of the FM Systems flagship IWMS platform, which is called FM Interact. And FM Interact helps organizations improve customer service, reduce costs, and increase productivity enterprise-wide. So it's an IWMS platform, one of the most used IWMS platforms in the marketplace, and our customers have achieved great results with this capability. What you're seeing here right now are all of the modules that are available in the FM Interact WMS platform. To use this product, you really have to have, to use FM Mobile, you have to have our core capabilities centered around space and asset management, and then you can add those additional modules. Every single one of the modules you see in here have the ability to make the views, the reports, the drawings maintained in those modules available on the mobile device. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the underlying capabilities that are available, obviously, based upon all of the capabilities that are in our IWMS platform and then carrying those into the field. So one of the best and I'd say probably the greatest return on investment in terms of in the field is being able to manage your tasks in the field. And this would include things such as work order assignments, being able to access project tasks, being able to look up information in the field and interact with that. This view that you're seeing, I'm going to get a little bit close to that here in a little while, but you're seeing essentially an administrative or maintenance supervisor view showing the creation of a work order, and then that also being available to a technician on an iPhone. The second core capability here, which I think is quite beautiful, is our floor plan viewing. All of the graphic views that you've created and have available in FM Interact can be made printable and available in the field on the mobile device. So if you want to look at a color-coded floor plan to see your occupancy breakdown, or if you want to look up what the water status is for this floor, you can do that with a single click. Also, I think one of the great values of this as well is in collaboration. So if you can imagine you're on the facilities management team, you want to go out and meet with the departments that you're providing services for. Perhaps you sit down and talk to them about a move plan that's coming up, a big move project, or you want to look at them and you want to sit down and look at their occupancy chargeback report, do some validation about the way they're using their space. Grab your mobile device, go out there and have that information available for you right there. The other one I think is great is really field services, and this would include things such as project management or move management. Instead of heading back to your desk to find out what the status of a project budget is, heading back to your desk to find out who was supposed to move where, take that into the field with you. Go out to the point of where this is actually occurring, where that conference room renovation is taking place, that large move that's requiring some renovations, or perhaps an entire department to be moved from one building to another. If you've got this mobile device in your hand, you're all set. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that, I've talked a lot about mobile maintenance management, mentioned things like being able to do validation of space utilization, but keep in mind that pretty much any task any of you as a facility professional can do in the field, we can make available. If it's a task that you're currently using in FM Interact, we can take that and make it available. So I'm going to talk about people like space managers and space planners being able to take advantage of those space walkthroughs, being able to check the status of moves, so move managers, even the people who are requesting the moves can check the status of their move request. Maintenance professionals in the field doing both corrective and preventive maintenance and responding to issues that may be occurring out there. Asset management, one of the coolest things I've seen, and one of the little short demos I'm going to show here in a little bit, is being able to go out and do asset validation, check the condition of an asset. One of our partners has already created a barcode scanning tool which allows you to really quickly shoot those assets with a barcode scanner and check them in your database. It's really quite cool. Being able to go out on site as a project manager or as a project team member and check the status of your project. Look up change orders and see what the progress of those are, or whether or not you're on budget on time. Also, planning. If you're doing facility planning, maybe you're out there doing strategic or scenario planning, you're thinking about leasing new space or not renewing a lease, you can actually do a lot of that planning in the field. And all of the reports that you have available within FM Interact can be made mobile as well. So you can take those out into the field and be able to look up those utilization reports, etc. Sustainability, I like this one. You can go into maybe you're a sustainability manager and you want to go into the field to check out the status of recycling bins, your recycling program, perhaps a relamping project that you have in one of your remote facilities. You can take those views out there with you in the field and be able to check their status without having to call back into your office or even go back to your desk. You may be even in an entirely different building. You've got your mobile device with you, no problem. And then obviously real estate, I gave the example earlier of checking lease utilization, being able to do that, but anybody in corporate data needs to look up a lease agreement. You want to see when those lease bumps are going to be. You're out there, you're thinking about renewing perhaps one of your retail environments, one of your banking environments, et cetera. No problem. You can look up that information via mobile. Really the point I'm trying to get across here is that all of these participants, all of those people within a professional facilities environment can take advantage of our mobile tool and have that data available in the field. So really what I want you to understand is that just because you have a username and password doesn't mean that everybody sees the same thing. Because we've got this very nice permissioning capability available through our FM Interact administration, FM Interact administrators can determine what user roles can see what. So a maintenance technician may simply see assigned tasks, whereas a facility manager may see everybody's work orders, may see facility plans, may see utilization reports. So really that is highly configurable, and I would say that that's another huge advantage of the way that this product has been created over what an app can provide to you, because apps are typically hard-coded. It's much more difficult to provide this level of configuration, which I think is absolutely groundbreaking, and I've never seen anything else that's got this capability. So those technicians, those people in the field can access that information via a mobile device such as the iPad, as well as being able to look that up on an iPhone. I've got both of them. I've tried them both. They both work equally as well. I love looking at floor plans on this. Obviously, the iPad gives you a bigger display, but both have tremendous use. I'm going to do a little bit of an interface overview. Being mindful of my time, I want to make sure I get through all of this really quickly so we can talk about this a little bit. So navigation is straightforward and intuitive. It allows users to access information with a few simple clicks. Administrators can provide access to users to view data for a single building. So up here you can see my Western headquarters drop-down, or they perhaps could have access via this drop-down to a number of different facilities, one being highly configurable and can be managed via our security settings. The other thing we have here is our facility floor plans can be viewed, and viewing information on room occupants and installed assets can be achieved by simply tapping on the space of the drawing, which brings up the associated details. I'm going to show a demo of that. Here's another completely different view. This is creating a work order view. I love this view because it really takes advantage of a lot of the iPad-specific capabilities, which are really quite nice. So updating information is as simple as selecting an editable view and using your finger to control drop-down box selections, typing in information using the virtual keyboard, clicking on buttons, or using the slider bars. All of this capability is in here, which is really quite cool. All right, so let's see. I'm 20 after. I want to make sure that I get through a series of demonstrations, and these demonstrations are going to be organized in sort of a, I'm going to show a mixture of looking at information in the iPad, information in the iPhone. The first thing I'm going to talk about, which has applicability across all of those, obviously, that have the ability to view floor plans, is the floor plan viewing and querying capabilities. And I'm just going to go ahead and click on this and open up this product demonstration. This was actually recorded right off of my iPad using a tool called Reflector, and it reflects onto up onto my screen, and I can record it. So I'm logging in as one of our facility users, and you can see that this user has access to a number of different modules within the product. But what I'm doing as John Bryan is I'm selecting a list of facilities that I have access to, and I'm going to drill into New York, and we're going to look at one of our tower buildings, the 5th floor. By clicking on the floor link down there at the bottom, it automatically loads the floor plan. This is not just a plan that's static. You can zoom in, you can use Apple pinch to zoom, swipe gestures, and you can click on items and bring up information. In this example, I clicked on a space, and I brought up all of the details about the space, including the occupants in the space as well as any assets that are in that space. The next thing I'm going to do, for those of you who've used our product and understand the graphic views capability, I can do things such as look at my floor plan broken down by department very, very quickly. The legend at the bottom is dynamic. The color coding matches up. Once again, even though I'm color coded, it's still a floor plan that I can query. I can click on things. I can find out information. Now, this user has access to a number of different facilities, and I can quickly flip to another one. So in this example, I've gone to the Western headquarters, and I can see that I've got the 6th and 7th floor available to me. Once I highlight one of these and I go ahead and select it, the system's going to go reach out and it's going to reload that new floor plan for this building. As you can see, it's actually quite quick. I recorded this as I was doing it, and I'm looking at the 6th floor, which we only have partial occupancy. And I'm going to go ahead, on the 7th floor, I'm going to go ahead and select the 6th floor now and click on it, and that's going to load the 6th floor, which is fully occupied floor, and I can see that breakdown. As you can see, really very fast, taking advantage of all the Apple features, pinch to zoom, pan, etc. And now I'm going to pick the open work orders view. This is one of my favorites. It allows me to be able to quickly identify areas on this floor plan where work is occurring. I may be out on that floor and I see something's not done and I want to check the status of it. Perhaps it's work that's open and I'm not quite sure what the status of it is. I can look that up. I'm going to do the same thing now on a phone. This is really just going to quickly shoot into an iPhone. I'm going to look at the sites. Here's a different user with different level of access to a number of different sites. iPhone's it uses the same capabilities. The menus are slightly tweaked to be a little bit more iPhone appropriate because there's less real estate, such as these fly-out menus. Here I'm going to select an initial view for that same tower that I was looking at, and I'm going to scroll down with the really cool Apple wheel feature. And I'm going to go ahead and look at the open, that's the same exact report that I was looking at earlier with my open work orders on this floor plan. Once again, simply being able to tap on a room, find out the room information, the occupants, additional information. We can see in that example there was a move in that space. So that's floor plan viewing and querying. The next thing I'm going to talk about a little bit, I love this one too, field verification of assets. Once again, this is another iPhone example. I'm going to log in as a user, and what this is going to do is it's going to provide me a more limited ability to look up information, as you'll see. I'm going to log in as my sample user, rtally. Love that little pop-up tool that allows me to use the virtual keyboard. I'm going to look up building equipment this time and get a list of all the building equipment. Perhaps I'm in the field. I'm actually looking at this air handling equipment, and I'm doing an inspection. Maybe I'm checking it out to look at its status. And I've noticed that in our database we're missing quite a bit of information. We're missing the manufacturer and perhaps the model number that we've not logged. Once again, I've seen some of our partners use a barcode scanner to pull up this information very quickly, but in this example I'm just manually looking it up. Then I'm also going to change the condition of this. It was excellent perhaps, maybe I'm going to downgrade it, but really using this as the beginning of doing your field assessments is just a really great capability in here. So I'm going to go ahead and close this one and go to our next one. That's an example of field verification of assets. The next one I'm going to do, we're going to do creation and updating of assigned quarters. The first one I'm going to start with is a maintenance supervisor's view being done in an iPad. And let me zoom this up a little bit. So I'm logging in. I'm logged in as John Bryant. I'm creating a work order, taking advantage of those things I was talking about earlier, where we've got the ability to just simply use our finger, select drop-down values, change things. You'll see we've got selections. This is a safety-related issue. I can see that my drop-down values, all of them from our FM Interact database, and really easy-to-use buttons, clicking and pointing and navigating through this product, which is quite nice. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to look up my unassigned work orders. Perhaps we've got some new things flowing into the system, and I want to assign those. You can do that via the tablet. I'm going to also take a quick view, same thing, looking at task assignments as a maintenance technician. And really the point of me showing this is that you can tightly control what someone can see. This person, Douglas Hodge, sees a whole heck of a lot less. He's a field service technician. He can only see work that's assigned to him. He's got a series of records he can click at. In this example, he's going to simply, he went out on site, he fixed the problem, He's logging his time, the labor, the cost, etc. This is a really rudimentary example, but was me just sort of trying this out and showing some examples here. The next thing he can do is put in some costs. He's going to go down and type in his comments. Once again, notice that virtual keyboard popping up, really slick, really straightforward. And he's going to say he replaced the bulb and tested, and then he's going to close this work order. He's got a little button down here that pops up a calendar, allows him to pick the close date, the time and date that he closed that out. Very nice. And once again, creating and updating an assigned work order, making it, showing you two different views. One's the maintenance supervisor view, who can create work orders and look at everybody's work, assign work, and then as a maintenance technician who does a series of assigned tasks, both of them logging in with their own username and password. Both of them have their own role assigned to them, which then determines the level of access that they have. The next thing I'm going to talk about, the last thing actually I'm going to show, is FM mobile demonstration administration. And I debated showing this a little bit, but I just think that this is absolutely a separator from the pack for us. This is a capability that I've never seen anybody able to do, and that is the ability to show you I'm going to log in as a user. He's not going to be able to see a view. I'm going to go into the admin tool. Now, keep in mind you have to be an FM Interact administrator to do this, and not everybody can do this. But the FM Interact administrator is going to add a capability, add a view. That user who was using the iPad who couldn't do anything earlier is going to re-log in, and bam, that view is going to be there. So let's just go ahead and fire that off. I'm logging in as one of my users right now. I think I'm going to log, yep, we're going to log in as John Bryant. And you're going to see down, he's going to look at one of his lists. It's going to be highlighted in yellow under Asset Management, and you're going to see there's nothing there. There's nothing for him to select, nothing for him to use. Now I'm in the FM Interact environment. For those of you who've used this product quite a bit, you'll recognize this. I'm going to go into my module for Asset Management. I'm going to pull up Equipment Inventory View. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to look at the options for this. There's tremendous flexibility in this product. If you've never seen it, it's absolutely astounding. I'm going to click on the options, and there's one button I have to click on that says Display in Mobile. The next thing I'm going to do is just make sure that my security is set with the roles and permissions. I'm going to make sure that the user group that he is in, which is my Move Administrators, has access to view. So I'm going to hit OK. I'm done there. That's all I need to do to make that view mobile. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sign out. And the next thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and bring up my iPad again. I'm going to log back in as that same user. And you're going to see that really it's quite amazing. This view is now going to show up for this user. No customization required. This was a simple configuration. He's now got equipment inventory available. He selects that, brings up a list of the total records, selects one of those items, and bam, right there it is the equipment inventory details. Now, that view I was showing you was a view that was just a read-only view. We do have the ability to be able to control those read-only versus editable views. So some people you may want to give read-only capabilities. Some people you may want to have access to give the ability to update that information. I'm really running up on my 30 minutes. I know this was super fast. We covered a tremendous amount of ground. If you'd like to find out more information, please go to fmsystems.com/mobile-information. I'm going to leave this up for a bit. And keep in mind, you'll get a form. You can fill it out, send it in to us. Let us know that you'd like some additional information, you'd like to talk to us. The other option is, for those of you who are current customers or are speaking to us, feel free to reach out to your authorized FM Systems partner or your salesperson within the FM Systems team. Go ahead and reach out to them. Let them know you're interested in speaking to them about this information, finding out more. Once again, we will be having follow-up webcasts over the coming months to show some of these demos. I know they were quick and they were fast. We didn't cover a lot of detail, but I wanted to give a high-level overview of what's capable. I hope you're as excited as I am. I think it's an incredible product. It offers tremendous capabilities to our facilities management professionals in the field. So with that, Leisha, I'm really down to my 30 minutes. I want to make sure I respect everyone's time. I'm going to hand it back to you, and I think that will be the end of our webcast.
That's great. Thank you so much, Brian. That was a great presentation. Now, I do see that there has been a ton of questions come through, which is great. It looks like John and Bill have been going through and answering them for you. But again, if you have any additional questions, feel free to answer them in the panel on the right-hand side. There are a few questions regarding if this will be, if the presentation will be recorded today, and the answer is yes, it will be. So keep an eye for a follow-up email if you missed the beginning or the end of their prior engagements. Keep an eye out for the follow-up email, and feel free to pass along to any of your colleagues. Just stay on the line for a few more minutes since questions are still coming through. And John and Bill, if there are any questions that you see over and over again that you'd like to read out loud to everyone, feel free to chime in. But other than that, that is it for the presentation today, and I want to thank everyone for attending, and again for Brian Haynes for putting on this presentation today. Thank you.